knights on their steeds, orc war bands ready for their wicked deeds. I'll show you all the tricks, the blends and the glaze, little pain and secrets from my hobby days. No pressure here, just hang and chat, share stories of battles and pain mishaps. We laugh, we learn, mix colors on the fly, watching warbands grow beneath the brush as time goes by. Every stroke and every color tells a tale, from victory's glory to the warrior's trail, with the thread of chaos on the rise. The heroes tell no lies, with their blades in hand. It's time to purge this evil from the land. So crack a beer, join the crew, let the colors flow. BigDsBrush is live, yeah, welcome to the show. Let's paint!
Here we are, finally. Hello everyone, welcome to BigDsBrush. It is Wednesday 14th. It is now 20 past 7. Hey Stefu! Oh cheers buddy, thank you, yeah. I mean, I always make a joke saying that the intro song is probably the best part about the stream. And then after that it just all goes downhill from there. Mad Eye, yeah, thank you buddy again for the compliments there, the quality, yeah. That was, to be fair, as I've said before, I make no excuses. That is completely a AR. I mean, I came up with the lyrics and stuff, but put it into a AI music program, Suno AI, and I just did about 10 or 15 different versions, and that's the one that came out best. So, and it really sets the mood, sets the tone. What I kind of want for the streams, really. Moist bash. Bringing over the old isms into the stream there. But yeah, oh, 1 second. It's got something's not locked in. That's locked in, and that's locked in. There we go. That's better. Oh, Stefu, thank you, buddy. Oh, snowboarding. Oh gosh, I bet that was an absolute blast. Oh, mate, I understand that, mate. Thank you. Yeah. You're an absolute, you're a diamond. Oh, I bet, mate. I bet that's just an absolute blast. Tons of fun. No, the snow has finally gone here. Oh, yeah. Where about? Whereabouts are you, Nova? Are you UK or? Because we've had it really weird in the UK where we've had like some areas of the... Oh, Netherlands. Okay, buddy. Well, I say in the UK, we've had some areas of the UK where there's been absolutely loads of snow. And then other areas, not so much, like where I am, like zero snow. Like zero. Ice, rain, torrential, what do you call it, thingy, but yeah, no actual snow. Oh, broski, I understand. This is to be fair, this is more or less a lurking style stream anyway. Really, it's just more of a sort of audio jobby, and then obviously with some visual doodahs. But obviously, as I've what do we call it? I'm trying to get this camera to. I think I really need to sort out my position in the camera a bit better. It all seems to be fucking tilted. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm trying to get a decent angle on this for this camera because I want to make sure I get some good shots for filming. But I don't know. Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate you you popping in. I appreciate you guys popping in and saying hello. Like that's about as much as that's the least, you know, of that I could ever expect. So I do appreciate that. I say this stream is going to be an interesting one because this is sort of the first stream where I'm going to be also filming content for videos, for actual edited videos. So I'm just trying to. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to move. I don't really want to be messing about with shit like this during the stream, but I guess it's going to be the. It's almost. I don't want to end up being like DSP and just fucking messing around with fucking shit on the stream and not. But I have a feeling I have to move my camera arm, inch it over, because I think this is the reason why I'm not getting a straight arm. So if I just do this, then hopefully. But I think I'm definitely 100% playing around with the idea of what do you call it? 100% playing around with the idea of getting a new camera. So if I put that there, it might be a bit more straighter. I'll tell you, this operation, this whole entire setup is an absolute clown show. Yes, mate, mate, have fun. Today it was 8 Celsius. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty decent. Oh, that looks better already. That's straighter on now. Thank God for that. Well, obviously, where I was this morning, I was actually surprised by how cold it was this morning, to be fair. But again, it's just frost and chill. It's not actually snow or anything like that. But then the day before was like a normal temperature, like normal, because it's just so weird, like what from one day to the next. Absolutely bizarre the weather at the minute. Because I walk to work, so I tend to have to battle the elements, and when it was at one rate, it was just getting so cold. I'm like, right, I need a face warmer or a balaclava or something just to go over my head, right over to cover my face. So like the side of my face, like my cheeks and stuff, because they're getting just blasted by chill winds and stuff walking in the morning, like the cold air. And unfortunately, like a lot of places obviously didn't seem to sell them. Like, I'm not trying to obviously rob anywhere or do an armed robbery or anything like that. So you just can't get them. So I had to get a snood instead. But I'm not a big fan of it because I don't like it stuff like directly in front of my face because I'm afraid of dying. I just like, I'm not too fond of suffocation or whatever. So yeah, I managed to sort of like modify it a little bit to protect my face. And I wore that this morning with my beanie hat and all that sort of stuff. And sorry, no, not yesterday. Yesterday I wore that and ended up getting absolutely bloody just warm and started sweltering. I was like, this is too. I'm naturally warm anyway, so I tend to overheat. But so this morning I'm like, well, I'm not going to wear any of that. I'll wear my hat and have my hoodie on, and I should be fine. Of course, it was colder this morning, so I regretted doing that. So. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So obviously just a little bit of a preamble here. Just what I'm seeing, wait for to see who's in chat. I want to talk to you guys. I don't really tend to. I just kind of realise I need to be a bit more interactive there with the old. I do try to talk to the chat. I just tend to sort of try. Sometimes I get. Well, I'm trying to focus on making sure like the stream is like good or interesting to watch and listen to, of course. And I just obviously at the end of the day the streams wouldn't be anything without you guys in chat. So I do appreciate every single one of you. I did do a sign off on Monday, which was just how much I appreciate you guys. Snowboarding without me. So yes. So anyway, so I think that positioning of the cameras actually worked quite well. So as you notice, the camera's a bit further up at the minute. So this is because I'm going to be doing in this stream, guys. So this is going to be I'm going to be filming. So I'm going to probably. I'm not too sure how. I've seen some people when they do their videos, they still have like their background and stuff, and they have like just to add a bit of interest, and then have the video doodad. But I think I can always in editing just crop out that and then zoom in on the. I did set up a what do you call it screen. I did set up I showed it last time, but I did set up a filming screen which is full screen like this. But I just think it's less interesting to look at. I mean, I know you get like a full picture for like if you're watching on something, but I just think this is a lot nicer to look at, to be fair. So I might give the first couple of videos a go with this kind of scene and just see how it works out. So as you can see, I've got a few little instruments at the side here. But so the main point of this video is I'm going to be. Hey, Sleepy Joe. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Bless, thank you for lurking. I do appreciate the lurk always. Thank you. Anyone that's lurking. It's kind of it is a bit of a lurker stream really, because I'll be working on a project and obviously sometimes I'll not look at the chat as much as I should do, but I do keep my eyes on it. I could check over on the YouTube side of things quickly as well. Oh, thank you, Broski, for the Bosch in chat. I'm just going to give you a quick Bosch back. Obviously, I think the way things will be is Twitch is probably going to be more so for the streaming side of things, and then obviously YouTube. I'll have all my streams archived on there for people to watch back. But then also that's where all my edited content is going to be put on anyway. So and I've made YouTube my main system and then Twitch is like the secondary one in terms of recording and filming just for now. Just needs to work out a bit better. So just a quick little recce. I've also managed to figure out finally. Well, I didn't figure out. I asked obviously ChatGPT how I can loop a single track or a video on YouTube. It told me like in 5 seconds. So now the background music will be the same now going forward. It should be this this mix that I found online that doesn't seem to give me any issues in terms of when I check my analytics. So going forward I should be okay. It seems to pick up on a few other little synthwave tracks that I like to use. But this one, this doesn't get any problems at all. So if I keep this one on a loop during the entire time of the video, then that should be swell. We should be okay. I'll check obviously afterwards, after the fact. Although saying that, the last stream on Monday, a couple of other songs did slip in. I wasn't paying attention, and I didn't get any thingies on them, so that's fine. And I'm not monetized anyway, so it's not like also I'm going to get hit with monetization charges or like that or stuff. It's just obviously it's just for the future, just to make sure that the videos are kosher. So we should be okay. Absolutely fine. Okay, so let's have a look. So what we now? Oh, it's 1/2 past the hour. Yeah, so I did start a bit later. I was going to start. I usually try and start at 7, but I knew from the off that I wasn't, so I did put the schedule down for 7:15, and I was a few minutes late just because of again gremlins in the works there. I even think at the start of the YouTube stream, you'll even see the desk for like a second before the doodah screen, so I might have to just go in there and just cut that little bit out. Joe, what are you working on? Oh, some shorts, lad. Good, hey, good, mate. I'm glad you're pumping out the content, buddy. There, I do watch your videos. Obviously, I'm not a WoW player, but I always watch your videos and give them a like. So it's gonna be 2 seconds, guys, and then we'll actually start. We're gonna just have a little bit of a preamble, it's gonna be a nice one. It's gonna be nice because I'm gonna be working on the assembly portion for the tutorials. So I'm gonna hit record. I'm gonna film a little bit of footage. I'll probably do some B-roll behind the scenes for stuff like that. And I've sort of looked at some content creation and stuff like that, and B-roll is obviously like handy to have, like little. I need to do some close-ups here and there, but I won't be doing them on stream because that means moving the camera all the time, which is the point of potentially buying a secondary camera, so I can have the main camera on the model coming in, so it comes in front of me, the camera, and that's where the actual close-up of the model being painted and stuff will be. And then this camera I've got now, which I'm filming from, will be a desk, so it gives you a full view of the desk and the process, and then I'll have these another camera for close-up shots, so that should work out quite well, I think. But so I'm probably going to use the nice camera for close-up shots, and this one just for the filming. So I think that'll be good. I think that'll work out nice. I think it'll be a good little investment. Maybe a similar camera to this one, or maybe some I'll have a look around. I'll see what the pros are using. I'll see what the professionals are using out there. So I'm just gonna have to maybe do a little bit of readjustment here on the old, on the lights, camera, action, and all that. I do have to do some cable management as well on this bloody thing, I reckon. We'll see what the crack is, get it all sorted out. It's all over the fucking show at the minute. So if I bring that down there, bring that one down there, and then that one there, I think that should do a good job. Let's see where we are. Oh, that's a bit too much. I think the cameras are trying to. I need to do some readjustment on these bloody things as well. These fucking. I mean, these are good little lights. They've got these good little but they just tend to be a little bit too. I think they get a bit flimsy after a while, but it is what it is. I just have to tighten my nuts a little bit there. Tighten my nuts. Right, I'll tell you what we're gonna do first. First things first. This is BigDsBrush, guys. It's just as the intro song says there. It's time to crack a beer. Obviously, this is my beverage of choice for tonight. It's Wingman again. Wingman IPA. I just think this is a beautiful IPA. It's a Sessions IPA. So it's basically. You know, it's a drink you can drink. You know, it's not heavy in APV. It's quite nice. But it's a really. I mean, I prefer this now over most. Yeah, so 4.3. So it's not. You know, it's not bloody super strong stuff. But yeah, I'm making a change to the IPAs and that in a minute, which is quite nice. Really, really nice. So I'm going to take a sip of this, guys. So I'm going to say cheers. The can, yes. Nova, you are. There we go again. Look at that. Look, Wingman. This is Brewdog, by the way. Brewdog Wingman. This is. I tell you now. This is probably going to be easily becoming one of my absolute favorites. This is going to probably supersede any of the what do you call it, like the commercial like stuff. Oh yeah, cheers lad, cheers. I'll tell you what is another nice one though, Nova. I don't know if this I got this Trooper original. This is great. This is obviously the Iron Maiden, but this is fantastic. I was given 2 of these, one for like a Christmas package type thing, the one from a birthday, and I just this is absolutely wonderful. This is 4.7, but yeah, this is fantastic. This and so I'm gonna try and get myself a pack of them if I can, or a case of them at some point. But I'm joining there's a really cool subscription service online, this Spear 52 malarkey, really good. You get 8 beers, 2 snacks, and like their magazine for, I can't remember how much it was now, but it's not a lot. And the cans are like, I think the cans are usually about like a Coke can size. It's like, you know, but so it's good. It's nice. You try to fit one, so if you don't particularly like a certain one, well, you're only drinking a certain, you know, it's only a small amount. But there's not really a beer that I've never really liked unless it's like something that just tastes like piss or whatever, or piss that's been drank and then re-pissed out again, if that makes sense. Oh, it's a really nice beer. Right, for the Buster, because me. Let's get down to business. So I'm just gonna make sure I do this correctly. So that's the right screen. So guys in chat, obviously I'm gonna sound like a. Well, the funny thing is that for the actual videos themselves, just so you guys know, it will be post-production audio. So all the shit I'm chatting while I'm doing the actual demo now won't be heard in the actual video itself. It's going to be, you know, it'll be scripted and curated and, you know, adjusted and stuff like that to make sure it's like, you know, it's not what do you call it, abhorrent, or not abhorrent, like painful for people's ears to like hear me talk and jibber jabber and shit like that. So it'll be very, you know, ASMR, like kind of. I'll put my I'll use my my what do you call it, the thingy voice, the proper voice, you know, like the statesman's voice, you know what I mean? So it'll be much more you know. Right, so here we go then, guys. So I'm gonna obviously hit record. And I'm going to obviously just give it, so I'm going to basically act as if I'm giving a tutorial like now to you guys, like a sort of thingy one, but then obviously it'll be, so just put up with me. If I talk and jibber jabber, I'm going to whittle on, I'm probably going to, what do you call it, just talk and talk and talk and talk. So, I'm just going to move these little bits out of the way. Just trying to make sure I can. For some reason that's thing there. So we'll see how this looks. If it does, I mean, like I said, I can always refilm this if need be. And I'll tell you what I do need as well at some point. I need to get myself a little fucking trolley or a little fucking something that can, little footstool or something that can just go near me when I'm with all my little bits and pieces on for when I'm actually doing the videos. Right, okay, so here we go then, guys. I'm gonna hit record and we're gonna pretend that I'm doing an actual video. Well, I'm doing a video, but you know what I mean. So 3, 2, 1, record. Okay, so we're gonna actually start by going through this box. We're gonna show you what sprues are in the what contents is in here, and how we go about identifying certain pieces. Figuring out how, you know, which like configuration of model that we want to do, how we go about clipping them out, cleaning them up, gluing them together, and then gluing them onto a base ready for painting. Okay, so this whole section is just going to be all about the actual preparation side of things. Okay, there'll be no painting today. It's just going to be purely a whole primer, quote-unquote primer on assembly. So in this box there are 32 models as there, okay? So So these are the models that you get. It clearly shows you on the box here. Nice piece of artwork, and then the models themselves on the actual box. Okay. So I'm going to open this up, and if you're new to the hobby, and I don't want to teach people how to suck eggs, but usually these boxes they'll have obviously tape on the corners here. Just so what I like to do is I take my knife and I just run it along the inside there, just so we just not that I mean if you don't want to keep the box, don't keep the box, but I just like to sort of maintain the integrity of the box and the just so you keep everything nice and tidy, because and this style of box, okay, so this is Warhammer of the Old World. These style of boxes sort of vary in terms of how they are inside. And then compared to like some of the other, like so for instance, like Warhammer 40,000, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Okay, so the way these are done is you actually get a cardboard tray, okay, inside, like this. And this is a whole sprue, tray, should I say, of sprues. So it's gonna. So this is why I say you keep the box when if you struggle for storage space, for somewhere to keep stuff safe. When we are done with these sprues, we can then use this box to put our figures in, and then you can slide them back in the box. Okay, slide them back in the box, and that will keep them safe. You know, so it's a good way to, and it keeps them out of the way, keeps them tidy. So what's the content? So you'll get a set of instructions. Okay, so these are very they're very crude. They're just black and white printouts, but this is all you really need, okay, for these models. They're very easy to assess. This shows you everything you need here. So glue, clippers, and this is a mold remover, mold line remover rather. But I don't use them. I just use a normal knife. I will show you. It shows you the configurations you can do. Two hand weapons, hand weapon and shield. So that's clearly laid out for you. Shows you your unit, your champion, your standard bearer, and your musician. Okay, and then here's the champion components, which I'll go through with you. So you get a specialist cape, shield, a nice cool sheathed sword, scabbard. It's scabbard, and then you've got a choice of a sword or an axe, and then a couple of cool helmets for your lord there. Shows you the again, this is kind of interesting because I'm sort of showing you how to go about these, but the instructions are here, okay, but it can be, and then it shows you the standard bearer, and then also the chaos warrior one there. But I think it's just nice to have an actual visual guide, a step by step, because again, it can even though these instructions are fairly straightforward, they still, for someone who's new to the hobby, it can be still a little bit intimidating, still a little bit scary to do. So let's go through it. Let's go through it step by step. Okay, I'm going to show you the sprues. Now, obviously, ahead of time, I have already assembled. Basically, what I've left is 4 models left to assemble. So that will allow me to show you how to assemble a champion, a musician, a standard bearer, and then a normal guy. So that's why I've done it that way for. So you get 2. So you get, there's 2 types of sprues. Okay. So you basically get the, this is the unit, this is the champion sprue. Okay. And also you get these little pieces here. So we've got here a selection of shields. Some with the arms in the attached. And then this one here, without arm attached. This is for your with a bit more of an ornate design. This one is for your unit champion. Okay, you've got a nice selection of heads, helmeted, a spare arm, and then you've got a head here without helmet. This is normally for your musician, just so he obviously has his mouth exposed, so it means he can actually blow the horn that he has. But I've done musicians with the helmets on still. It's just an aesthetic thing, really. We've got some nice skulls, if you can call skulls nice. Okay, there's some skulls here. These are nicely sculpted and thingied. So we can cut these out. We can glue these onto the bases. Add a little interest to your bases there. Nice little ornamentation, or you can stick them on you know, on a weapon or a pole or whatever. Just to, we also have here an interesting. This is what do you call it? A ponytail, but a one that's done at the top. So this actually glues either onto your guy here with his head exposed, or you can glue it onto any of the ones really. They've got a head exposed or whatever. Just glue it on top. Job's done. And then another couple of choice weapons here. So and then these bits here, these basically go on the top of your standard bearer's pole. Okay, so you have 3 sections for your standard bearer. You have like the pole, the flag, and then this bit will go on top, and that gives you like your little ornate decoration on top. So you get 2 choices of them as well. Here's your the actual flags. These are so you got one with actual decoration already on for you, and then you got one here which isn't decorated. This allows you maybe to do a little bit of freehand if you feel like you want to do a little bit of freehand or whatever. But yeah, so again, the choice is yours, and you get 2 of these sprues in the box. Okay, so this will allow you to build 2 command units. So your standard bearer, and musician, and champion, you can build 2 of each. Okay. Although I did some sort of a few little bits and pieces just to sort of like a bit of customization. I was able to get 3 champions and musicians and standards out of it, but that's another topic to go on to another time. So this is the basic sprue. This sprue I think you get, if I'm correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say you get 6 of those sprues, maybe a few more, maybe. But these are this is your bread and butter. So here are your. This is why these kits are so easy to put together. So you basically have 2 halves of the main body here. So you have the bodies with legs already. So you have basically like torso and legs already as one piece, molded as one piece. Okay, so that cuts down a little bit of assembly there. Some models will have torso and leg, torso and lower body separate, and so on and so forth. So that cuts down a little bit of time there. You have what is essentially the back halves of the bodies. These are the capes. Okay, these are your capes. You got 4 style of capes. Some with skulls, some without skulls, some with bits of metal sticking out of them, some with bits of like bone or horn or tusk or whatever sticking out. 4 shields, so you got 4 guys, 4 shields. Selection of heads: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads. Again, another ponytail here. Another skull, there's a random skull there. You've got the musician's horn there, and then a selection of weapons. Some weapons will be right-handed, some will be left-handed, and this is for your dual weapon wielding guys. Here is your banner pole. Okay, so there's your banner pole. So you get one of them on the sprue. And this is how I was able to basically do more than one standard bearer with the sprues in the box, because you get multiple. You get basically for every of these sprues of this frame, you get one of these, so you can make a dozen or so standard bearers if you wanted to. So these are the 2 sprues that we're going to be obviously working with. Also in the box, okay. So obviously these sprues are all well, they're not all empty, but they've had the main components removed. So what's left on these now is basically extra weapons, extra heads, things like that, which are useful to keep. So I'll go into basically about having some kind of storage, some kind of container, a little Tupperware or something like that. Clip all these out, put them in there, and then label them, and then you'll have those enough weapons and little bits and pieces to play around with until the sun comes home. You have transfers, decals, okay? these always come with decals now, which is really, really nice. So again, so we can, that banner here that I showed you, this banner here, okay? You're not very confident about doing any kind of freehand or anything like that. Well, they've got you covered. Here's your decals. So we will actually go into how to apply a decal to a piece of a banner there, okay? And then we'll go into how to apply them to other bits and pieces. But you get all sorts of lovely little things here, lovely little bits and pieces, chaos runes and scriptures and little things like this to really go to town with on your models. But again, this is something we can think about down the road, okay? Don't want to get bogged down in all this kind of stuff. Let's keep it basic. Let's keep it simple. Let's just get the models assembled and painted and based, ready for battles. And then, after we've got all that done, then we can start adding some of these extra adornments on top, okay? Because you can always go back. The great thing about this is that you can always go back to a model. You can always add. You can always change some little bits. Nothing's ever set in stone, okay? But we need to make sure. Our main goal is to get these models painted. This is the whole reason for the hobby, okay? In my opinion, it's to actually paint them to basically. You want to, even if you just want to battle, but you still want to battle with painted armies. They just look so much nicer, okay? They just really set the scene. It's just so much more rewarding. So let's do that. Let's do that. So we're gonna, for now, we're gonna make sure we're gonna keep everything in the box. So okay, remember this is all we've done is gone out and bought one box of models. We don't have tons of models, tons of things to worry about. It's just this one box. We'll keep everything in here nice and safe, okay, and tidy, and it's always going to be there, so you don't have to like worry about where you've put stuff or kept stuff or anything like that. This is all we need for now. So I'm going to put the instructions back, so I won't be needing them. Okay, so we'll go through that. I will be your set of instructions for these videos. So there we go. I'm going to put this box away. Okay, so basically, obviously to chat, who we got in there? Broski. Here we go. Let's do it. And Nova Shadow. Bosh. Cheers, Nova. Like I say, don't worry about it if I'm just randomly talking to you guys, because I'm just gonna. This is all gonna be muted out anyway during the editing process. So yeah, the step by step. So basically, so a video that I will do before this, well, that I'll film behind the scenes, will be the intro video, which is going to be the fundamentals in terms of like what you need and stuff like that. I'll be talking about having a space to work, whether it's a dedicated space or if it's a shared space, and that, in which case, if it's a shared space, then what you call it, then at least have a way that you can then store your stuff in between painting sessions. And guess what? I've just realised as well. I didn't show the bases. I'm an idiot. 1 second. This is the great thing about this. Is I can edit in. You see, I can edit it back in later on. Okay, so let's put that there for now. Okay, I was gonna say it out loud, but it's not gonna be in the actual video. And then, of course, the other thing that we get. Obviously, I've already removed the majority of them, but you get a big bag of square bases, okay, for your models. They come in a nice bag. They're all ready to rock and roll. These are 30 by 30, okay, millimeter bases. One of the cool things that I personally think it was a really good idea, a really smart move on Specialist Design Studios' part when they decided to bring back Warhammer Fantasy in the guise of obviously Warhammer the Old World, was they increased the base sizes, which obviously they got a bit of pushback by some of the older guys there, some of the veterans. That was purely because obviously some of these guys have like armies, like loads of models, and to them that meant like rebasing a load of stuff. But you can just buy movement trays which add the extra spaces in between, and you just like base accordingly. So it wasn't an issue, and I just like having the extra room for stuff. I'll just 1 second. Sure, I had it here somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Yes, so one of the main reasons for the base increase size is purely because of the increased size of the models have gotten a lot sort of bigger and more dynamic over time. But they also knew, they were clever, they knew that some people would be using, like, you know, Warhammer Age of Sigmar models for their armies, which are much more dynamic pose because they're on round bases. I'm just gonna stop recording for now. Sorry, yeah, they're on round bases. Because it's a skirmish type game. There's no ranking up or units and stuff like that. So the models were able to be a lot more. I'm just gonna show you this Chaos Warrior, for instance. Okay, this is a Age of Sigmar Chaos Warrior, and as you can see, the cloaks, the capes, are much more dynamic. They flare out more, okay, compared to, say, this guy here, the classic one, the sort of more classic one. These ones are more obviously designed to be ranked up in units. These guys not so much. And Chaos Warriors back in the day, these were on. These used to be on 25mm, 25 by 25mm bases. Now, trying to rank up the newer stuff on 25s by 25s was impossible. Was going to be impossible because I tried it, and you could play around and you could kind of, but it just didn't work. So the extra 5mm I think makes all the difference. Then the models that used to be on 20mm bases got put onto 25mm bases, and yeah, I think it was a really good move on their part, if I'm honest with you. Here's for instance, here's a this is a goblin. A night goblin that I painted a while ago, and he's on a 25 by 25mm base, and I just love having that extra ground, the extra area to play around with basing. I mean, this is just obviously a basic one. This is basic earth color, and then a little bit of static grass there. I might add a little bit of whatever here and there to it. This is just a really cool little simple night goblin that I wanted to paint up. So yeah, so I think they look really nice. I mean, obviously, and if there was, I think I'm sure I got a 20mm base kicking around. No, I don't. But yeah, there would be much smaller bases. You didn't get much room to like do stuff really, like to play around with actual basing. So. Yeah, I like the base size increases, but that's just me. It wasn't a deal breaker for me. And like I say, there were options for some of the older boys there with the armies and stuff. But then a lot of them weren't even going to play, because a lot of them they went, oh, I'm not playing Old World anyway. So it's like, well, why would you get in a fucking Tiswas about it for in the first place then? If you wasn't going to play, then why are you getting? But everyone gets. It happens all the time. Like people are not going to. People always get pissy. It's just part of the hobby, part of any hobby, you know. So yeah, I'm about to hit record again, guys. This is for the bases there. Hit record. I'm just going to talk shit for a bit. Okay. So yeah, so here are the bases, the 30 by 30mm bases. Okay. So on this, we're going to glue our models, and eventually we'll get round to adding texture for our base. But I'm going to talk about basing in a later video. All I want you to do in this video. And the first thing I want any of you guys to do that are going to follow along is just to have the models assembled and ready for painting, and then we can worry about, after they're painted, then we can worry about basing them afterwards. Okay? Okay. Stop recording so I can add that in later on. And then I did have a movement tray somewhere. Okay, it is. So let's talk about movement trays for a second, and how I think that they're really, really invaluable. Okay, we're gonna hit record again. Thanks, broski. Yeah, step by steps. I'm just gonna keep hitting record and stop, because it's gonna help me edit the videos as well if I do them sectionally as well. I just then rename the videos like intro thingy blah blah blah. Stick them in an editing software and just chop and thingies. So that should be quite cool. Okay, gonna hit record again. An additional extra that I think is very, very useful. It's not crucial, but I do think they're useful, and they're something I think if you're planning on doing armies, then you absolutely should get these. This is a movement. This is what's called a movement tray. Okay, so what this allows you to do, and I'll show you sort of quickly with this model here, is it allows you to. Oh, what an idiot! It allows you to rank up your models. But not only does it allow you to do that, but it also gives you like a means to basically like lift up like multiple models at the same time. If you're having to, so again, if you're in a shared space, custom base. I mean, for like when I come to show the basing, I'm going to show a couple of different ways to do bases. I'll definitely do that, broski. No doubt about that. But yeah, so basically the movement trays, they allow you to put your models on, rank them up, okay, give them some kind of order. But also, again, if you're working in a shared space, or even if you're not, even if it's a space that you know it's a dedicated working space, but you don't want to have just like loads and loads of stuff on your bench. You put your models on here, and then you can lift them up, okay? And then put them on a shelf, or you got some kind of storage for them. And you can nicely, it's just a nice way to rank them up and keep them in some kind of organized state, rather than be sort of all over the show. One other thing you can do, which I'll go into, which I do want to do with all my models and my movement trays, and that is magnetize, okay? But again, that's further down the road. It's not crucial for what we need to do, okay? So that's an additional, that's a little addition. If you don't have, or you can't get hot with, I mean, eBay sell these really cheap. I buy a dozen or so of these every so often, and they're really cheap, and I just stack them up. I've got a big box of them now, and I think I'll have enough movement trays till the cows come home, and this will allow me to get the majority of my models nicely ranked up and done, and basically just have a nice little home for them, really. So that's really cool. So that's that one. Let's talk about the movement trays, which we'll go into more detail later on. Oh. Was in the way, but never mind. It's a scuffed stream. Hit stop. So let's talk about assembly. Guys. Let's check in. Yes, mostly. Magnetization. Yeah. I mean, it's something I need to do anyway. I need to. It's fairly straightforward to do as well. Again, it'll be like an eBay job or Amazon. You just get some, you need some, flexible iron sheeting that you can buy. And then you just buy some rare earth magnets, the really, really small ones. But lots of places sell them now. So when I come to talk about that, I suggest that obviously in the videos later on. It's not going to be terribly hard for anyone new that comes into the game or whatever. In fact, I think it's a very wise and sensible thing to look into, to have, and it just, like I say, it just cuts down on frustration, because it was an issue when we played all the time. When we played broski, they would always topple out. Some models were top heavy or thingied or blah blah blah. Just can't be helped. So magnetized, it's very standard now. It's easy enough to do. And yeah, it should be so that'd be quite a good little segment there to talk about, to explain that. I've got bros, you've seen my collection of models. They all need all the movement trays will need magnetizing. Just taking a drink, guys, because my mouth was getting a bit fucking thingy there. Right. So, the next bit I'm going to do when I hit record. I hope that's... Did I knock the camera a little bit? I think I did. Never mind. Whatever. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's only, what you call it anyway. This is only the assembly bit in a second. So that was just like showing stuff off. So we'll get down to the actual assembly. So we'll start with the basic sprue first, I think. So that should be okay there, I think. I can lift that up, put it down, lift it up, put it down. Okay, cool. Right then. Here we go. C'est la vie. Let's do it. Let's record. Bosh. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna clip off. We're gonna basically make up our 4 basic versions of the model. So we're gonna do a standard guy. So I should do a basic guy, a standard bearer, a musician, and a champion. Okay. So the first we're going to need is we're going to clip out all the bodies, all the capes, and we'll clip out all, just for the sake of it, we'll clip out the shields and things like that. So you're going to need, I showed these in the previous video, these are your sprue cutters, okay? I highly recommend, I did sort of recommend that you buy at least some kind of a pair of sprue cutters, regardless of what brand there are, what brand you buy, okay? And this is for our purposes. We don't need overly expensive sprue cutters, okay? These are purely just to cut the models from the frame. There are sprue cutter. There are things called like God hands and God knows what, and they are used really for very intricate model kits, things like the Gunpla kits, Gundam wing kits, okay? Because that is a whole hobby in itself. That's a whole new universe of model kits, and they have so much gear stuff that's geared towards them. It's incredible. I've watched videos and stuff like that of those things, and they are using like really like state-of-the-art, you know, really micro, like the tip on them is like micro tip, and they get in there, and we don't need that for this, okay? So all I have here is, I showed you before in the previous video, these are just some Zeron sprue cutters, okay? They're easy, you can get X-Acto, you can get Army Painter, you can get AK Interactive, you can get Games Workshop do their own sprue cutters. They are very, you can, other brands will do their, sprue cutters as well. You might be able to go to like a discount place that does has like little hardware section of some kind, and they may have like a nice little pair of side cutters, okay? But you ideally do want a pair of side cutters that have like a small enough cutting, like the nippers themselves need to be at least this size, okay? They're not going to be surgical precision. They haven't got to be like micro doodah, but they do need to do the job. Okay, so with a sprue like this, okay, so let's just take for instance, let's just break it down. So the first thing I like to do with these sprues, I'll show you, is to cut off the. Sometimes they do come like this anyway, but I like to just separate the sprues. So find the joining segment and just cut that off, okay? And then do the same thing on the other side, just to minimize the amount of material that we're having to work with, the amount of stuff that's here, okay? So this, again, I mentioned before in the fundamentals video, have a little trash bin or trash can or rubbish bin, whatever you want to call it. Have it nearby, have it under your feet, have it under your desk. This goes straight into the bin, okay? Don't have any crap on your desk that you don't need. Just get rid of it straight away. So now let's start with the main, because the main part is these bodies, okay? We've got our bases here, bases are there. So let's cut the bodies out. Now here's what I like about this sprue in particular. We can do something that's basically what I like to call, well, it's speed assembly, but the process is this, and I'll show you. We are going to, okay, we are going to clip out everything that is facing the same direction, okay? So I do not want to turn these nippers. These nippers stay in the same position, and I'm just going to go down the sprue. And then what we're going to do is we're not going to, it's like when you, you know, you turn the actual object itself. You don't, like when you cut a circle. When you cut a circle out with scissors, you don't turn the scissors, you turn the paper. You turn the paper around, okay? So the same thing we're going to do. So we're going to start from the top, and we're going to work down. Start from the top, work down. Yeah, yeah, it's so, yeah, it happens, bro. Hey, look, years and years, we all make the same mistakes, so this is what I'm gonna explain. So look, this is the thing that we need to identify what is model and what's sprue. Now, this is what's so great about these older kits in a way, when it comes to beginners, is that it's very much identifiable. They're very much, you can pretty much tell, okay? So the this is basically the feed, okay? These are the feeds. So this is a big die. This is a metal or some kind of thingy, die that they pump the molten plastic into, okay? They feed it through. So that's all these bits are. So here's what we're gonna do. Again, we're gonna go down, okay? And that's everything: capes, shields, and bodies, okay? So we go down the first side. You've got your nippers. Down. Cut. 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 Okay? Then, we turn the model clockwise. Oh, sorry, we turn the sprue clockwise. Now, my nippers are still in the same position. And I can now cut the feet on this side. Oh, sorry, cut the feeds to the feet on the top to Chaos Warriors, okay? So I've turned this clockwise. Now turn it clockwise. Oh, so I didn't do did I do the shields? I did the shields, so that's me being an idiot. Remember, do the shields as well. Go down, go down, go down. Okay, that's me trying to rush. So we've done those ones now. We've done these feet here. There's no more. There's nothing else I can cut. Oh, I mean, are these capes here as well. So cut the top sections of the cape, of the attachments to the cape. Okay. Again, you're not turning the nippers, you're turning the sprue. Turn it round again, and now we're going to cut everything down that's facing the right hand side. So clip, clip, clip. There we go, one's pinged out already. Clip. One's pinged out again. Go down the other side. Clip. Clip. As you see, they'll start to ping out. Clip. Clip. Okay, make sure you got plenty of space to work from. Go down the shields. Clip. Clip. There's one pinged out. Clip. One's pinged out. Clip. Okay? If you clipped both sides as it pinged out, just use your the back of your sprue cutters, your handle, and just tap it. Comes out, okay? And then we're going to turn it again. Okay? Nothing, and then what's facing this side, we clip. So in this case, what's facing this side is the feet on the other two Chaos Warriors, okay? There we go, another one pinged out. And then we need to turn it again, and then finally we've got the other side of the bodies and the capes. And like that, we have... Oh, I didn't quite cut that one properly. That's my fault. There we go. We now have a sprue completely cleared out. There was no models left on that sprue anymore, and these are all here ready to clean up. Okay. Now, if you've got again, you have multiples of this sprue. Okay. There's I think there's about 6, maybe 8 of these sprues. I should have counted, but I forgot to count them properly. So you have more. So all you have to do is basically repeat. Grab all these sprues, clip off anything but this side that has the bodies and the capes, as I showed you before, and all you do is repeat the process. You have them stacked up, okay? They're all stacked up. You grab one sprue, go down all the right, you turn, you clip, turn again, clip, turn again, clip, turn again, clip, pop them out, onto the table they go. And you can't get, the great thing about these kits is because they're so interchangeable, you can't get lost. So by the time you've done, you've got a big pile of 32 capes, bodies and torso, bodies and legs, shields. Okay, a nice big pile of 32 of them. Separate the shields out, separate the capes out, and separate the bodies and torsos. Okay. Again, this sprue now is done with. It's empty. It's trash. It's garbage. In the bin it goes. Okay, out the way. So once you've clipped all those out, okay. It's time to sort them out into piles. So we're sorting out 4 shields, 4 bodies and torsos. Bodies and torsos. Torsos and legs, which are the same thing on the same piece of model, and 4 capes. Okay? And then what we're going to do, I want to leave the shields for now. We're going to focus on building the main bodies of the Chaos Warriors. Okay? So we're going to be back in 2 seconds. Right, I've stopped recording for a second there, guys. I need a sip of water. My bloody mouth is absolutely... Let's see what the crack is. Okay, so it's bro, yeah. Don't. I said before, like I said, I did figure, but I said the amount of times I've made that mistake. I think I remember. I think I cut off like a model's foot once or something daft like that. I had to clip off the foot that was still attached to the sprue and then clean it up and like glue it back on and fill in the gaps and stuff. It was like. Especially even with some of the newer kits as well. The newer kits are because they're very intricate and the way they're designed and the way they're cut, they're like chopped up in the CAD program for when they make them. And this is obviously for a couple of reasons. Obviously, one for actual injection molding process, but also it makes it harder for people on the black market there to replicate them, but they find a way to get around that anyway, so it's not. But yeah, so you end up having to you have to like really go over the sprues more than once for the newer stuff just to make sure you're not going to cut off some like random bit of detail that the model has, Now, do I need to? I think I should probably bring the camera down a bit closer now for the actual cleaning up, don't I? So bear with me, guys. This is why I want to this is why I'm gonna have like a couple of different cameras because I can't keep doing this all the time. Just get silly. How does that look? It's still tilted. looks a bit better, doesn't it? Square that on. Is that close enough? Let's have a look. That should probably do it, I think. We'll drop it down a little bit more. I think there. And then I'm going to try and see if this works. I'm not filming this anyway, so it doesn't matter that you just saw a bit of, what you call it there. Bit behind the scenes. Okay, so. We're ready to rock, I think. Let me just grab another drink, guys, and then we'll be doing some actual, cleanup, some doodah. Removing mold lines. Oh, I love that sound. This is, for anyone interested, this is Northern Monk. This is Faith. Gotta have faith. This is a nice IPA as well. It's a bit more of a fruity IPA, but I do like it. Make sure that goes in the bin. Okay. Oh, so that, guys. So I think we're ready for part 2. Okay, I think that's about perfect. Okay, once again, guys, I'm grateful for anyone out there that's listening and just lurking and just yeah, for popping by and sticking by. It's 25 past 8. Not too bad. So I reckon we're probably wrapping things up. It won't be a very long stream tonight. This is purely about cleanup and assembly, so it should be fairly straightforward. So I've got my scalpel, got my knife there, got my toothbrush. I've got a emery board, a soft file, plastic glue, and we don't need super glue until we actually come to base the models. Okay, so you guys ready? Let's hit record. It's record time. Okay, so now that we've the components off of this sprue. Now, again, I want to do this sprue by sprue because the main point here is to get the main bodies assembled. Okay, because this whole process is basically going to be repetition. So once you've done one, and you do the next one, and the next one, and then all of a sudden you get quicker because you're used to. Your mind and your body is used to the motions, the techniques and stuff like used to do that thing. It's kind of where you kind of like you adjust and acclimatize to it, and that way you're able just to like. That's how you get like an assembly line type operation going. So move the shields out of the way on your workbench for now. And we're going to focus on bodies and capes. So all we're going to worry about at the minute is cleaning up. Now you've got two choices for the type of knife. Okay. So there's two types of knives that I like to use, and I use them both for separate different reasons or different reasons. So I have here is a retractable style blade. Okay, these can be, you can find these at like office supply places, DIY places will also have these as well. Okay, and they're just very incredibly useful. They are sharp. The blades you can interchange, you can swap them out. Okay, I did show this again on the fundamentals, but I'm just going to do a quick recap and show you here. Okay, so you can buy a pack of replacement blades. You normally get about 10 or so in a pack, and again, you buy one pack. These are also snap-off blades, so each length of blade has. So that's about 10. So you basically get 10 times 10. But obviously, by the time you get down to like the last couple, it could really become a little bit harder to use. So I think once you get past to a certain point, you know, you're best off just probably replacing the blade altogether. Okay. So that's this type of knife, which is really useful to use. I like this one for a couple of different reasons. And then we have the trusted scalpel. Okay. Some people will call this a craft knife or whatever. In this case, I prefer the Swan Morton. Okay, this is Swan Morton, made in England. Okay, so obviously, you know, England represent. But I like the style of handle. I don't like the X-Acto ones. I don't like the rounded ones. Weapon of the gods. Actually, to be fair, I should have said I think we missed that, didn't we, bros? We should have said nectar of the god. Nectar of the gods. Let's ride! Right, anyway. So, and this is a scalpel, so I prefer this version. Okay? You get the ones that have like a rounded handle, and also these are just so, I just like how these are designed. I don't like the scalpels that you put the blade in, you twist like the little bit at the top to like tighten them in, because after a while those threads go, and also the space inside the handle that the blade pushes into, that after a while just opens out, and so no matter how much you tighten the nut at the end, it's still loose. It just flops everywhere. I just don't like it. So these Swan Morton handles, plus these blades, and I've got a couple of different blades as well that I like to use, but for this purposes, for assembly and for ease of use, and just to make sure things aren't complicated and over stupid, we just buy the standard. I think this is a 10A blade, Swan Morton handle, and a 10A blade. Okay. Now, obviously, yeah, it says there. Look, I'll just see it now. Oh. It's too shiny. But there it says 10A. You have to take my word for it. So yeah, and this is so these are sharp. Okay, you will absolutely. We need to exercise safety and caution, and this is the whole reason why we have cutting mats and we cut away from ourselves. Okay, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Do as I say. Do not do as I do. Okay, do as I say. Don't do as I do, because when I say you, I'm gonna cut away from yourself, you'll tend to see that I will cut towards myself, but that is just purely because one, I'm just used to it now. I know how to. I do gentle, like pulling towards myself motions. I'm not waving the knife in the air and going, hell for leather. I'm being very gentle. It's almost like I'm whittling, or peeling potatoes or something. It's that kind of motion. But I always say you put your model on the cutting mat and you cut down. But this is also why I quite like these blades, is because you can sort of kind of cut towards yourself a bit more, and there's a bit more control. Okay, because you've got your fingers around here, and you kind of have this little bit here. You sort of press, and then you're basically just doing this. Okay, so you're watching. You're doing this. Oh, I need to look at the model, not OBS. There we go. You just click it like that way. Okay. When we go through it properly, okay, that'll do. That's like a little thing to you guys in the stream there, not towards the actual the video. So I'll obviously probably chop that out and do it again. So anyway, so here's what we're gonna do. So if you're using this style retractable blade, okay, here's what I personally like to do. Cuts. I've had a couple of slips. Okay, so obviously quite funny because you'll see I've got a plaster there. I've got a cut on this thumb here. They are not hobby-related cuts. They are work-related cuts. So when I cut like this, I never really cut myself. Okay, unless I'm being super careless and not thinking, and there's a particular bit and I cut through, okay? I cut through and end up not realizing that that component in that little bit is actually softer than what I thought, and so I end up using a bit of force and it goes boom through and it ends up like usually like cutting me like here or something like that, okay? This is why I would say, again, do as I say, don't do as I do. Model on the cutting mat, okay? Knife down and cut away from yourself. And just cut down. But I prefer having control. I just so this little like nub here, I can take this knife, okay, and just pull down. And another great thing about these knives as well, that these knives are actually really good for actually doing a little scraping motion as well. Not so much the scalpels. This is why I like these knives for the scraping motion. I like these knives for mold line removal, okay? You heard me talk before when I was looking at those instructions for miniature assembly, okay? Citadel, and I think maybe some other companies as well, sell what's basically called a mold line remover, which is essentially like a safer way to remove the mold lines, and there's a sort of it's designed to basically go over certain areas a lot easier, and you won't. But again, you're not gonna. I mean, you're doing gentle scraping. So let me show you. So again, this is for the stream, not for the actual video. So you can see this mold line here. There's a mold line that goes from this bit of the it goes down this bit of boot here, and down here, and down here. The mold lines tend to sort of go down a set area. They're not all over. They're not all over. It's always basically where this so this one piece of model here is actually two halves, and it's when it's molded. And so these are just basically like where the two halves didn't quite meet properly. So what I'm going to do is take my knife, hobby knife. I'm going to just 45-degree angle, 45-degree angle, and gently, just be gentle, okay? You're not going hell for leather. Now, I actually recommend this over getting a mold line remover, just simply because this is more versatile than a mold line remover. You buy a mold line remover, it just removes mold lines. You buy this and a pack of 10 blades, you can cut off a sprue pieces, connecting pieces like here. Okay, this little bit here where the sprue was connected. You take your knife and you just cut that away. Okay, and then you can just then do secondary function, which is just gently scrape it back to smooth it out. Okay, so I prefer these knives over like a tool that's designed to do one job, because this can do more than one job. Just cleaning the line there. Okay, just go down. Look where usually where the joins are. A little bit more line there. The top of the also. So what you need to remember is where you clipped the model off. where you clip the model off is where the model is basically where you need to cut the nubs, the leftover nubs, okay? So on this side of the piece of armor, this is one of the sides where the sprue, where the model was attached to the sprue. There's a little nub there, okay? Take your model, get yourself in a comfy position, okay? And again, gently, just gently, gently pull the knife down. So to do, do you know what? I've never. That'd be interesting. I think I probably would, actually, maybe one day, do that. Tie myself with a kit like this. Anyway, I think. Again, here's the thing. Like, it's such like how long do you spend hobbying? Like, how much time do you have? Free time do you have? How much? I don't know, just like, is this your main hobby? Is this your main thingy? Do you do other stuff? So I think if you buy a box, say a box of, this box of 32 models, well, I think you can have the whole thing assembled within a couple of, again, if you're taking breaks, you're having breaks in between, I would say you probably could do it in a couple of days, because these type of models are very simplistic. They're genuinely two halves for the body, like I said before, the front and the back, and then you're gluing on weapons and heads and shields, and then you're gluing them onto a base. And so if you follow the speed assembly, if you follow the speed assembly process, where I took the sprue and I went down the sprue, cutting in one direction, turn the sprue, cutting in another direction, turn the sprue. You can have all the bodies and the capes cut out in minutes, you know, because they're all the same. It's a lot of it's repetition. With some of the newer models, how they're designed and things like that, they may take you a little bit longer. So that's why I'm starting with a basic kit like this, but of course I will go into newer kits and how they go together, and how you kind of you really do need to follow the instructions, have some kind of actual methodology to how you're going about assembling the models. It's just a very also the a key a key piece of equipment I like to have is a very cheap toothbrush. Okay, this is a toothbrush that doesn't even have a brand on it. This is like discount Poundland or whatever type brush. Okay, I wouldn't recommend you actually use this brush on any kind of human on any kind of teeth whatsoever. This is purely a cheap brush, okay, fairly coarse, that I like to use to remove any feathering that might happen when I clean up the model. Okay, it just helps to remove any little bits of detritus from the model, but I still have to but again, I don't normally do is take all the nubs off, clean all the mold lines off, and then I would go over every single piece with a toothbrush ready before assembly. This foot here just needs a little TLC. It's just a little bit there. And I'm going to show you another little thing that we will need to do. I hope everyone in chat is okay. I hope anyone that's listening is okay. I hope you're having a good night, chilled, and I hope you're all nice and relaxed and warm. So it's pretty cold in the UK at the minute. I'm not sure about where you guys are. Say Netherlands, States, wherever you are. I hope you're all safe. Okay, so this is basically one torso body and kind of done, but I want to bring this up to your attention. I want to address this and show you how we can address this. So what you'll see, it's very hard. There we go. You can see like the little bit of overspill. So I'll just use my knife quickly. So here is the actual model. This here, this little lip, this little is actually overspill from the mold. Okay. Now you don't. I mean that's fine. Like you don't really notice it. You can't really notice it. It doesn't really. I can see a mold line now. I'll clean that in a second. It doesn't really hurt anything. And if you assembled this and painted it, it'll look fine. But if you're a little bit OCD, if you're a little bit OCD or a little bit finicky about that, I like to use these. These are just some cheap diamond files, but these are very they're not coarse at all. They're quite soft. These are quite okay. These are very much okay to use on plastic models. And all I'm gonna do is just run that file, okay, back and forth over that little bit there. Can you see it's just taking that off now? Okay. Now again, if we're wanting to get these guys assembled and ready for painting, we don't need to really worry about that too much. But it's just a nice little. Again, I showed you these in the fundamentals video. Okay, that these are useful to have. And I need to just go over now carefully and look that mold line there. By the way, guys, if you're wondering out there on the stream, if I am going to clean up the mold line on all 4 models, no, I will do the rest of that behind the scenes. Film it separately. That'll be basically B-roll. Okay, you can see here, there's a little mold line there. Now I can probably get to this one with my knife, but there's a little bit there that's a bit, again, it's sort of kind of hard to get to. Use your file. I like the rounded ones because the rounded ones don't feather up the plastic as much. So just get your file in there and just take that a little bit. It's a little bit of a, it's just my own personal, it's a little personal thing. I just like to make sure they're done, but you don't need to, anything that's kind of like underneath the model that you're not really going to see isn't really an issue. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just being a bit, particularly, what do you call it about it? I'm going to also run that file over the armor plate there. Just take that a little bit back a bit, and inside the just like that. Okay, that's perfect. But to be fair, you're probably going to see by the time we assemble 2 halves together, we're not going to see half of this anyway. So that's this one is completely cleaned up. That's ready to rock and roll. Okay? So it's nice and smooth. We're going to get some paint on that. Maybe a little bit more thingy there, just a little bit. Green Eye! Hello, I wonder where you were. Welcome in, welcome in. And see there again, there's another little bit of, again, just a tad little bit of overspill there. Again, not important, you don't need to actually do any of this. But this is like a nice little added little extra thing you can do, a little aesthetic thing. But this is kind of like a, again, we're going for speed. Well, we're not necessarily going for speed assembly, but we want these guys to be assembled in a fairly short amount of time, a reasonable amount of time. But I still want you to think about the process and how you and what you're actually doing and how you're going about doing it. Okay. So let's just do, so for the purposes of this video, or this stream shall I say, for you guys out there, that's just that's how we go about doing that. I'm going to hit pause for a second. or stop recording for a minute or two. Let's have a nice little sip of the old nectar of the gods. Isn't that right, broski? Nectar of the gods. By the gods. Can you imagine that? Just basically, this literally, broski is fucking just completely fucking taking a peanut stream word for word for no reason. Call it something like fucking discount fucking peanut or something. Like the most like low end like thingy version of the stream possible. Okay, so I'm just gonna move them out of the way for now. Oh, excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna hit record. Doesn't matter. Just obviously I want to just talk shit for a while, but obviously. So I've basically so far I've filmed unboxing, going through the sprues, and then I talked about bits that we need, that you'll need, the little bits and pieces, and then I've just started showing cutting models off the sprue and then organising them and then cleaning up. So all we've done so far is just done a really nice clean up on this job to make sure, on this piece of model side, to make sure there's no unsightly mould lines and stuff like that on this piece. And I'm just about to do this. I've chosen like this cape here for the model. Or should I choose a simple? I might choose a simpler cape. No, I'm gonna choose this one. I like this one. I like this cape. Okay, so I'm gonna hit record, but if record doesn't matter. Like I said, just said before in chat. I'm just basically, it just means I'm recording the footage, but it's all gonna be edited and chopped and stuff anyway. There's gonna be no audio or anything like that. So I'm gonna be still talking to you guys as normal, but I'm also giving like instruction and demonstration at the same time. Okay, so basically I've decided I'm going to choose this cape to glue onto this body here. So again, we're going to go through a cleanup process. So again, where the cape was joined onto the sprue, here, so left side, right side, just underneath where the fur or the pelt of the cloak is. That's where the nubs are, and then also actually on top where the fur is. Okay, so first we're going to start off with this one, nice and simple, again using our retractable knife there, the hobby knife. Just gently pull that down. Okay, so that's gone. And this little nub here, same thing again. Put it down. Just get rid of it. We'll clean up with a little bit of gentle scraping in a second. And this bit here, okay, this is a bit more tricky. Okay, but don't worry about it too much. Just take your knife, okay, and just pull it towards you a little bit. There we go. It's gone. That's it. A little bit of scraping, and it's gone. It does. The closer you, I tend to find the closer you cut towards the fur, taking that bit off, it's easier just to clean up. And because it's fur anyway, the detail is fur. If you cut a little bit too close, it won't matter too much. Okay, so I've just taken off the majority there of the actual of the nub. So what I'm going to do now is actually do a little bit of scraping. So hold the model, hold your knife, put your thumb underneath where you're, it's almost like you're whittling, almost like you're peeling potatoes or whatever. You pull down, but you do it gently. Just scrape 45-degree angle and just gently scrape back, okay? All you're doing is just taking off that little bit of nonsense that's there, okay? And then we turn the model over, and there's that little bit left on that side of the cape. Gentle scraping. Gentle scraping. That's it, nice and gently. There we go. Now we take our trusted Poundland toothbrush and just go over. Take all the fuzzy wuzzies off. Okay, and then I'm gonna go over the. So you can see a little bit of that sort of stuff going again with the slight overspill where it's been molded. Okay, again, you're not going to notice this when it's painted. You wouldn't notice this, but again, just for the sake of being thorough with the instructions, take your rounded file and just gently go over the edge of the cape or cloak there. Just gently go over it, and literally just a couple of like 2 or 3 strokes with the rounded file there. It's a very gentle file. It's not very coarse at all. Oh no! No! Oh, broski, are you there? Broski! Mod team assemble! By the gods! Broski, my broski! He must be busy, bless him. Oh God. Ah! Where's my Ah. Cheers, broski. Thank you. I was Sorry, we had a ruffian, broski. It's okay, bro. I'm sorry. I was gonna jump on it. I just didn't have the dude on there. We had a ruffian in the chat there, broski. What do you call it? What does Burnt Peanut call him? A ruffian. Well, we were about to get one. I said we did so well last stream, to be fair, without any without any spam or any kind of bots. That I was quite surprised, to be fair. Okay, perfect, beautiful. Okay, so I was just doing a little bit of broski, don't you worry about it. You get yourself off. I do appreciate you being in chat and spending time with me as always, broski. And then I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, so that'll be cool. Hopefully you can maybe stay a little bit longer tomorrow. Because tomorrow will actually be some painting, so it'll be a bit more interesting to. I love you loads, broski. Get a good night's sleep, alright? Okie dokie. So now we have a cape that is fully cleaned up, fully ready for assembly. So let's go about doing that. Thank you, broski. Yeah, I can't wait to. So I'm gonna get all the footage done for it, and then I can start editing and then release the videos over. I don't know, whatever sort of timeline I can decide to release them. Maybe a good little way to get back into the game again. Take care, broski. Good night. Ooh, excuse me. Let's stop recording for a second. So we've got 2 halves of the model thingy, so I need to assemble that. And then we're going to go on to the other sprue, talk about heads, weapons, and that sort of thing. So we're building a basic thingy guy. I should have showed this first, really. But so obviously we're going to go from like that to that, obviously. That's still not finished yet. I still not finished him, but I'll make sure he's finished for the video. Otherwise it'll be a bit. So I'll show him at the start. When he's done, just got to pull my head out my ass. Oh, there we go. Tried to do the quick little thingy there. Had to check my messages. Message my papa. As my broski likes to say, papa. So let's grab another drink. And then we're going to go on to assembling the 2 halves of the model. And then weapons, head, weapon choices, and then actually gluing them onto a base. I'm going to show you guys how I like to glue them onto a base. I like to do a nice little nifty little thing. Let's grab. We're going to grab a nice little drink here, guys. We're going to go for the Elvis juice. You've heard of silly juice? Well, this is Elvis juice by Brewdog. Really is. Do you know what I was actually skeptical of this when I first saw it in a multi-pack of beers that I was given for Christmas. No. Birthday. And I was skeptical of it, and I was like, but I had it. It was actually, it's really nice, and so it's now an IPA I enjoy very much. And this is actually a 6.5 or something. 6.5 volume, but it's really nice. Really nice. It's nice to have you in chat, Green Eye. I'm glad you finally was able to come. I hope you're having a good evening. It is what we now, guys. We are 3 minutes past the hour. 9 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, or Wednesday night, should I say. As I said before, I hope you are keeping warm. And yeah, I hope you're all having a nice, safe evening wherever you are. If you're in the UK or if you're elsewhere. Hey, Stefu, buddy. There was no painting today, Stefu. It was I'm working on the like the ins and outs of basically like taking models off of the actual the plastic sprues themselves, buddy, and cleaning the can't get the words out, cleaning them up for actual assembly. Okay, so this whole sort of series is going to be about assembling these models, and then you'll end up with something that looks like this after you primed it, ready for painting. Okay, and then it'll end up being something that looks a little bit like this. This isn't finished yet, but this is basically just a bog standard low level paint job for what I would do for an army. It's basically essentially the box art, the studio color scheme, basically like my little rendition of it. So you're basically going to go from that to that to that by the end of the the what do you call it, buddy? So the idea at the minute is to do like a series of videos for actual YouTube, like edited content. And I want to take like a newbie, like a beginner, from literally buying a box of models for the first time, taking them out of the box, going through the components, identifying the components, and then sorting out what we need first, what we don't need, clipping out what we need. So basically step by step. So then by the time we're done, we'll have a model that's on a base, primed, ready for painting, and then end up with something that'll look like this. But obviously I'll finish this off before I do the actual introduction for the video. So, and then of course I'll be doing the actual painting of the model on stream as well for the video. But that'll be I'm probably going to start painting tomorrow, I think. So in a minute, Stefu, it doesn't change anything, Stefu, but I'm recording certain segments of footage during the stream to then edit in editing software. So, but I'll just be talking to the chat as normal, but it just means I'll be also doing a little bit of instruction as well. Oh man, that Elvis juice is so nice. I hope you're good, Steffi. I say, buddy, I know you dipped in earlier, pal, and you've been snowboarding. Bless you. You've been enjoying the great outdoors there. Yeah, thanks, mate. I was saying I can't wait for. I think I just noticed, buddy, that you subscribed. I'm sure it's you that subscribed, mate, on YouTube. And if that's the case, I'm very appreciative, mate. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to have you on board. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm really glad you're doing well. But I'll tell you, my fellow. Oh, I need to actually, Stefu, if you don't mind. There you go, my friend. You have now been arise, Sir Stefu 2. now a fellow mod and I have the power. Just don't go mad with it, Steffi. Don't just start banning everyone. Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now. For a channel that has about 2 followers. No, let's go. It'd be good to have you and Ricky as my enforcers. Well, I should say BitDot really, but yeah, to have you and a BitDot as my enforcers, my what do you call it? The my capos. No, I should have done it a while ago, Steffi. I was always gonna make you a. I always planned to make you a mod, brother. There, I knew I could trust you with such tasks. I mean, to be fair, we had a bot in here earlier on, but it's the usual crap, you know. The what was it? Was it like views or whatever? Click this link or whatever. But he was banished to the Phantom Zone. So he's gone now. He's gone for good. So oh dear. So let's do a little bit of assembly, shall we, boys and girls? Boys and girls, girls and boys. So I'm just gonna just do a quick little thingy there, cheeky little. I'm gonna hit record. Okay, so if you hit, say I was gonna be randomly like giving instruction, but the actual video itself is gonna be post audio stuff. Don't worry, but it's not anything that I need to. Feel free to. Oh, 100%. I think mods are important, regardless of how many. I mean, obviously, if you're what do you call it? Because at the end of the day, if you're, regardless of whatever you're doing, if you're playing, you're let's playing, you're streaming a game. Well, you're focused on the game. You're playing the game, so you can't always quickly react to a bot or something like that, or you know, channels like, you know, that are new. With low viewers and stuff like that, they can be quite prone to, you know, people just popping in and just spamming, you know, slurs. Do you know what I mean? Like bam, bam, bam. It's like, okay, that's it. That's all it takes is that to get reported, and then your channel's gone. You know. So this is people out there that like to spoil it for others, which is. You know, I think it's a bit stupid. It's heartbreaking when people do that just because they don't want to fucking. But whatever. Like I was watching some Burt Peanut this morning while I was at work, and even he was having a bit. I never seen him. To be fair, I've only like, you know, watched him recently, but every time I have, like, the streams have always been like really fun and chill, and he just has a good time. But even he had to like lay down the law today because there were just like idiots in the chat just spamming like really random political crap, and it's just like he's, you know what I mean? It's not that kind of. It's just annoying. So, you know, but he just laid down the. It was good. It was just interesting to see him lay down the law like that. You know, for a guy who's quite chill and thingy. But it's just people trying to. Again, they're just trying to. Oh shit. Oh great. Yeah, they're just trying to like ruin it. You know. Just try to ruin it for other people. And I have completely forgot that I've been recording. But like I said, the audio's not in. This audio's not in the final thing anyway. So I'm trying to record it. I'm trying to record the video in segments, so it'd be easier for me to edit down the line. I can just like label all the videos and then go from there. Okay, right. So a little bit of instruction, guys. So just bear with me. It's easier for me to say it out loud, even though I'm gonna edit over it. So what I like to have in front of me here, this is a piece of greaseproof paper. And what this allows, because obviously when you start using things like plastic glue and things like that, it tends to leak after a while. There's like you have pressure, it'll start leaking still. And I try to keep the my cutting mat surface as clean as possible and as clear as possible. And plastic glue will melt the surface of the cutting mats. So I just use a bit of greaseproof paper. And this is very useful also for super glue, but that's another story. We'll come back to super glue later on. So the way these models are designed, okay, very straightforward. They have location lugs, okay. So this whole section here, this whole back sort of square, and then the arching segments, okay, align with this here. So you have two options. You can either glue along here, or you can glue along here. It honestly makes no difference. I prefer to glue onto here just because, one, there's more surface area, and two, you're less likely to overspill. And if any overspill does happen, it will just go onto like areas here where you're not going to see them because they're going to be hidden, okay? So we're going to take, this is just plastic glue. I've mentioned this before in the intro video, the fundamentals video, okay? This is our plastic glue. This is what we're going to be using to assemble all our plastic models. Yeah. Basically, yeah. A kid is surprised then. Yeah, the little doodah inside. Okay, so and now this is the to be fair, this is the Citadel plastic glue. Okay, I do normally like to use the Revell plastic glue, but I actually find that the Games Workshop the Citadel glue has a much finer applicator. Okay, the glue needle at the end that's here is much finer. So I tend to actually like this one a little bit more, just because it's a bit more, slightly more controlled. So as I tilt it, you can see that little bubble of plastic glue already there. So what I do is I get that bubble of plastic glue as far away from any major detail as possible, okay? So I'm just going to do it at the lower bottom. Then we're just going to go, you don't need to squeeze, just gravity, capillary action will force it out. I like to go around the little piece of horn there, and on the fur as well. Just a little bit on the fur, not much. This is because when I glue this half here, I want these sections of fur to actually, there we go, match and then melt. So we're going to squeeze, okay? We push them together. The location lugs, you're going to see a line. You're going to see a line here. So that glue, in fact, I can probably pull this apart quickly. I might just flood that with a bit more glue than normal. A bit more glue. Okay, there we go. Now, push it together. Okay? And push. Push. So that's going to squeeze that glue out in the gaps. So the way plastic glue works is it's a weld. Okay? It's a weld. It has a chemical, like a thermal chemical reaction with the plastic. It melts the plastic, so it becomes, it basically welds it together. So if I used a super glue, that is basically like it's a contact. It basically glues by. It's a bond. It's not a weld, and you can it can be just as strong, but can weaken over time. Yeah, you just sense plastic glue is basically the best way to glue the plastic models together. You get this really cool, it just welds together, I just have to like hold it together for a while there, okay? Make sure, and it takes a few seconds. If I was doing a much bigger kit, I'd probably have a little. I'll add some. I would have elastic bands, which I showed in an earlier video. By the way, just to the people in chat, obviously, I'm not showing this today. This is going to be a video that I will film on a separate day, and then obviously it will be the first video I show. But I'll have some elastic bands that I can obviously wrap around to help keep the tightness of the two halves together. You blow as well. Push, and you can see that oozing out. There are various brands of plastic glues. There's different types of plastic glue. There is poly cement, okay, which is slightly thicker. It's a slightly thicker. Comes in a tube. And you squeeze. It's a squeeze, like a squeezy tube, and it's a much more thicker substance. But again, it does the same kind. It's much more of a. It's a slightly more older style plastic glue. Was used a lot for model kits, model planes, model tanks, that kind of thing. But I just tend to find it's much more messy because the nozzle, the opening on the nozzle is quite wide. But I used to use that stuff back in the day. I used to use it when I was a wee lad, a youngster there. I was a younger Big D back then. Obviously, when I was young and naive and was mesmerised and entranced by the hobby back then. I don't know if I remember. I always remember very vividly my first time actually sort of becoming kind of sort of aware of it, but not realising what it was till I actually went to an after-school club. But I do remember seeing an issue of White Dwarf magazine, which is basically the Games Workshop's basically in-house, you know, hobby publication. Seeing that in the newsagents of all things. And I would go into, when I was a younger boy, I would go into the newsagents all the time to like get my stickers for sticker albums. And I'm pretty sure, at that point in time, I'm pretty sure it was bloody, what do you call it? It was the Super Street Fighter 2 video game sticker album. And I would go into a certain newsagents to get the stickers from them every week. And I remember going to the magazine section. I think I used to look at like video game. It wasn't video game. I used to look at video game magazines. And I remember seeing like just on one of the rack, like the White Dwarf magazine, seeing the. I'm pretty sure the artwork was the Eldar. In fact, I'm sure it was. It was the Eldar second edition Codex artwork. I'm sure it was. So vivid. I'm like, oh, what's this? This is kind of cool. And it wasn't until obviously year 7, secondary school, year 7, getting it, saying a mate of mine telling me, hey, do you want to come to this after school club? It's, oh, like, yeah, okay. Sounds cool to me. I went and I say, funnily enough, it was me that basically I stayed in the hobby and they didn't, and it was like, you know, their idea. So yeah, so anyway, there we go. There, it's fixed. It's fixed together. Okay, so that's that bit there. I'll just hit stop recording for a second there. But isn't it fascinating though? You know how we get into things. You know how we get into hobbies. How we enjoy. I don't know. I'll tell you right now. I love things like this. I have my hobbies, and other people have their hobbies, and I think hobbies are just so important to have. just so important to have. It doesn't matter what it is. You know? And look, I'm not a sports guy. I'm not a sports guy. I mean, you just have to look at me to know I'm not a sports guy. But I appreciate people that do like sports. So, you know, for not just the physical aspect, the fitness aspect and stuff like that. I get that, but like just people in general. Like, again, I'm not a football person. I'm not. But I appreciate people that do look. You know, they enjoy it. Again, that is their hobby. You know. But I kind of I get annoyed sometimes when the people sort of turn their nose up at other people's, you know, hobbies and shit. You know, like I remember this is the true story. I remember a mate of mine at work, and he knows I'm into the geeky shit, and he's a good lad. He likes his football and stuff, but he's appreciative of obviously the shit I do. Nice lad. And they showed me like I think on Lad Bible, I think a model maker had got shared on there. And this is like high level diorama, like scratch building, like intricate, like some kind of building and windows and brick detail and like hours, hundreds of hours of just crafts and just some of the. He said like, even and the comments, some of the comments were just like so. But I'm like, why? Because they were basically, they were slagging it off. They were like, oh, the guy must be a virgin. He's obviously fucking this. He's a sad bastard. But it's obviously because like it's shared in a like a sports, like manly man style environment where they wouldn't even they wouldn't dream of doing it like that or whatever, I suppose, or whatever. So that was kind of sad to see that. Also, it's just like, but they didn't have the even if you don't want you don't like the hobby, you can still appreciate the art, So, Steph, sorry, buddy, I was on a ramble mode there. So, hobbies get all the time. I used to ride snowmobile. I went out riding almost every weekend. Now I'm currently doing too much as my hobby. So I'm, mate, it's great. That's what I'm saying though, Steph. It's great to, like, you're doing stuff that gets you out, the great outdoors, man. The great outdoors. You're traveling. You can't think of that, mate. We're all different. Everyone's different. We want different things. You have some people that have like several different hobbies. You have people that do this, do that. I mean, I'm quite. I'm a weird fucker because I'm like one of these weird. I'm mostly like introvert in terms of I like these kind of hobbies. I like my time to I like doing these kind of things, but they'll have moments where I do like to touch grass or I'll go out and this and that, and I have no issue like going out. I just sometimes just don't care for it, or I'd rather if I'm going out then it's with someone. It makes there's a reason, like I'm with my dad or maybe some mates from work or people I don't get to see very often, stuff like that. I would love to stick to one thing. I'm moving back to the gamer hobby. Love the film. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I've got a PS5. I mean, I don't really. It's kind of weird. I tend to. It's weird. I don't play a lot of newer games, Stefu. The reason why I bought a PS5 was for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I ended up getting, obviously, like, I had a remake on PS4. I couldn't get Integrate because Integrate was PS5 only, so I held out when I could. And then we have we have a place, a store in the UK, Argos. And also for people out there listening, obviously Argos it's people know about Argos. And they had really good offers on PS5s. But I think this is because like the PS5. Well, do you know what? I'm a bit of a simp, but there was obviously like I was able to. I like Final Fantasy. FF7 is my favorite. FF7 is my fucking. FF7 is my favorite FF game. With obviously 6 closely behind, which is a SNES game anyway. And I don't know. I'm one of these people that I just liked it. I liked Remake. I bought a PS4 for Remake, but Remake got delayed. So I played a few other. I bought other games obviously before then. Yeah, that's the thing though, is it? When stuff becomes exclusive, you know? It's yeah, it's a bugger. But I mean, obviously my my doodah setup. I mean, I've got a gaming laptop, Stefu, but it's not like it's good. It cost me over $1,000, you know. It's got what's it got here? Let me read the labels, the stickers. It's got GeForce GTX Ryzen Series 7 whatever. But I got this during that during lockdown, because my idea during lockdown was to make videos for painting videos, but I tried doing them, but I had a shitty webcam. I was too much of a perfectionist. I just kind of like, for that time I lost my way, but I got the laptop. So I downloaded a few games to play on the laptop, but I ended up downloading like, you know, like really random old games to play. I got like, you know, good old games and stuff like that. I got the Total Warhammer series. Literally during lockdown, I bought Total War Warhammer 1, Total War Warhammer 2. Most of the DLC. I pre-ordered Total War Warhammer 3. Answers in chat. How long did I play those games for? Answers in chat. Go on. Guess. And the thing is, because I love Warhammer Fantasy. Like, Warhammer Fantasy for me is like, that was my jam. Like, more so than 40k, but I do appreciate 40k, and I do like some aspects of 40k. And I'm more so drawn to the, again, there we go. Green Eyes got it. Yeah, literally a few hours, that was it. I downloaded them all. I didn't get past the tutorial stage. But the thing is, though, that was my. I didn't realise what kind of games they were. I was so. I want to say naive, but I just didn't realise they were like so intensive. Like, they were very micromanagement. I thought they were like Command and Conquer. I just thought you like built armies and battled, but you have to like manage like your economics and trading and stuff like that. I was like, I'm okay, I'm done. I just wanted like a Command and Conquer style, which obviously Dawn of War, Warhammer 40k, Dawn of War 1, that's what that was, and that's why that was so good. I just wanted a Warhammer Fantasy version of that, where you just basically like, you know, chose an army, and you had, you know, I don't know, Steph, if you ever played like the Warcraft, the actual Warcraft series, you know, like Warcraft 1. Like, you had like humans and orcs. You'd have your human camp. You build your labor, your farms. You expand, that kind of thing. That's what I thought. It was like. It just wasn't like that. It was just like, I'm like, this is too complex for me. I wanted like a game I could like just do like pick up and play and do campaigns and stuff. But the game is so popular and it's huge. And I said before in a recent stream, I think I dare say the reason why Warhammer Fantasy came back in model form, miniature form, the reason why I'm able to today now stream and paint models for Warhammer the Old World is because of Total War Warhammer. 100%. It's undeniable, because those games sold out like crazy. Sold. Every DLC, every expansion, everything. So, and then when they gave it the chance, be it, you know, I think they had a very low budget when they got to bring it back. This is said before, Specialist Design Studios are the guys who took on Warhammer Fantasy, because Games Workshop basically washed their hands of it. To them, it was like the ugly stepchild, even though the entire foundation of Games Workshop was based. Well, originally they used to sell other products, like they had magazines that had like role play stuff and things like that. But when they became a miniatures company, it was because of Warhammer Fantasy, But then they moved on to the sci-fi, the Warhammer 40k, and which again it's a great IP, 100%. But all of a sudden, like you get into the 2000s, late 2000s, 2010s, all of a sudden, like Warhammer Fantasy was basically the distant stepchild. But I strongly suspect it was more to do with the IP and them not being able to trademark certain races of certain armies and stuff like that, and that's why the Warhammer Age of Sigmar was basically made, because then they could create their own races and stuff and trademark them, and all that kind of, it was just fucking stupid. It's such a stupid reason to fucking do it. Again, greed. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for companies making fucking money, I'm all for that, but to basically alienate and then basically thingy a whole entire customer base was fucking stupid, really fucking stupid. So luckily they've, since however many years later, this sort of sense, brought it back, and woe betide, it's done really well. Let's put more. Who would have thought? Who would have thought there's people out there that actually like actual fantasy fucking this game that had been out since the fucking late 1980s? Who would have thought people would have? Stupid. Fucking idiots. Morons. Imbeciles. I'm lost now. Oh yeah, there's a goblin I painted Steffi a while ago. Look at that bloody look. Nice little goblin guy there. Okay, nothing special, but nice and quick. I used some oil washers on this guy actually. Ooh, look at, ooh. Pretty sure this is one of the models I actually. Thank you, mate. Nice and simple, nice and quick. By the way, the plaster is a work-related injury, nothing to do with the hobby at all. I tend to have more plasters because of work, not because of the actual hobby. But yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, nice little cool little purple hues, and then I used some. This is the first model I used actual oil washers on, so that's pretty cool. I like it. Nice little cheeky little goblin model. Okay, this guy's fully set up now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now a technique that I like to do for gluing models to a base. Now I'm going to do this because I can show on future models for the what the fuck is going on? Okay, fair enough then. Oh, there we go, got it. I can show on future models, or the other models. I can show the do not process. But anyway, so here's what I like to do. So get your words out, Daniel, for you, buddy. Do not. Right. So I'll explain the video before I start filming. So what I like to do with my what you tend to have sometimes is you will have so you have the base and then you have your model, and then what I've got a friend of mine who has some models actually, and I'll show you. These are some Beastmen models. I rebased them for him and then and stuff, and I just wanted to make sure they matched his existing army and basing scheme. So what you'll see is that the feet of the model are glued directly to the base, which is absolutely fine. But what you tend to find is when you come to add your sand and texture and stuff for the base, it kind of comes up over the around the feet, so it actually looks like he's actually in the which can work sometimes, but so it looks like he's in rather than on the earth there. But it's not very noticeable, and in fact, where is he? the goblin. Yeah, the goblin has been done that way. But what I tend to do is when I carefully base the model, I use a finer grade of sand around it, just so it doesn't like look too obvious. But here's what I like to do, and it doesn't take much time, and all it requires is a little plastic card and a bit of super glue. Okay, so here's what I like to do. I'll show you on this model here that I've this one here. No, can't see it. I'll show this one. So what you'll see here is the feet are slightly raised above the ground by a millimeter, literally a millimeter. And I do this for all my guys, okay? And what this allows basically is that when I come to put a layer of glue down and dip this guy into sand, let the sand dry, and then I have a whole process which I'll show. It actually then looks like he's actually walking on the ground and not in it. And because it's literally like a millimeter thick, it's like it just works so well. So I'm going to show that process now. It's nice and quick, nice and easy, nice and simple, and it's 22:10. So I think this is going to be a good way just to sort of like round it off, and then or whatever, and we'll have a fully. I'm going to have the arms clipped off and the head on, and a fully completed model by the end of this, and then I'll do the rest on a. Behind the scenes type thing. I'll do it like, you know, I'll clip all the rest of the stuff and I'll just have that filming, not waste your guys' time with streaming it. So tomorrow I should be filming some actual painting. Who we got out there? Green Eye, you still kicking about? Steffi, my guy, you're obviously kicking around. I was hoping some of the newer guys would drop in. Old Joey C1 and Christo, but obviously I need to be fair, that's on me. I need to fucking what do you call it? So I need to sort the shit out and start getting having schedules on my Twitch and schedules on stuff and start being consistent. But that's on me. That's on me. That is something I do need to improve, and I do realise that. Green, still breathing. Well, I'm glad to know you're still breathing. I think that it would horribly dishearten me, and if you wasn't. Oh, bless you, Steffi, watching and listening. Oh, mate, I appreciate. All you're seeing is. What do you call it? You guys watch that? You're on Twitch, yeah? So everything's okay on Twitch? Because for some reason I've got a black screen for some reason, but as long as it's okay. Yeah, so Twitch, yeah. So Twitch is still fine. Stefu, brother, if you're able to just check YouTube for a second, pal, that was weird as well. I clicked on YouTube, it was on like the countdown screen. So is that completely, absolutely gone fucking tits ass up or what? Oh, is it gonna be fucking scuffed at all high heaven? Okay, thanks, Stefu. I'm gonna send you a. I'm gonna give you a love heart, my friend. A nice one though. Purple heart. Boom. Thank you very much. Thank you very. Okay, right. So let's get this show on the road. We've been dilly dallying. I'm going to show you this nice little process. So we don't need the greaseproof just yet, but we will need greaseproof. So I'm going to, I'll bring that in and some plasticard, and I've got my scalpel, and I need a metal ruler. Oh, which is on the floor. It's on the floor. Give me a second. Oh. I had it on the side ready, and it's on the fucking floor. I did have a smaller, like a 6-inch ruler, but I don't know where that's gone. I'll have to try and track that down. Okay, thank you. Here we go then. So I'm going to hit record, usual malarkey, me talking shit, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. So we have our base for the model there. This is the 30x30 model. And what I like to do, instead of just gluing the model directly onto the base, which is absolutely fine, you can honestly do that. It cuts down a little bit of time, okay? But this is like a little added little thing I like to do, a little hint, little tip, little trick. Okay, I want to show you. And that is how we can just slightly raise the model off the ground a little bit. So when we come to add sand and texture to the base, it actually looks like he's walking on the sand, or on the ground, I should say, rather than be like in the ground, okay? Now, to achieve this, I've seen people use, I'll just show you quickly, bits of sprue, okay? And what they would do, I'll just cut a little bit of sprue out and I'll show you. But there's a reason I don't like this. There's a reason why I don't like this, okay? So I'll cut a little bit of sprue off. There we go. So, well, one good thing, of course, is plastic you already have. And I appreciate that. So you haven't got a... But what I don't like is you have to then manually cut your own risers, okay? So this requires you to essentially cut them out yourself with a scalpel or a knife, okay? But what can happen is you have inconsistencies with your cuts. I mean, again, it's like you take your time, you can mark them, and you can eye it, but more than likely one riser will be higher than the other, so you'll have an inconsistency. So when you come to glue it on the base, you'll have 1 foot that's like that, 1 foot that's slightly like that. So it looks. So what I do is this, okay, and it's inexpensive. It's all you need is 1 sheet, okay, of plasticard. This is all you need. This is 1 mil thick. Okay, so, and the thickness is consistent throughout the entire piece of plasticard. Okay? So all we're going to do is take a metal ruler, and I'm going to do I know, a couple of mil. Maybe ½ centimeter. Okay? And then take the I take the retractable blade in this case, okay, and just gently score along the plasticard, okay, no rush, nice and gently. And there we go. After a couple of cuts, there we go. And now we have a strip of plasticard that is uniform, okay, in thickness. So all we have to worry about, when I say worry, there isn't really a worry, but all we have to kind of concern ourselves with is having an adequate length of plasticard to glue onto the foot. And this is so much easier than, you know, the previous method. So all I will do, if I have, so we have 32 models to assemble, take the plasticard, cut yourself out a couple, 5, 6 lengths of strip, all consistent in thickness, roughly the same width, and then all we have to do is this. So here's what I like to do. Okay, so I take what, again, I showed this in the fundamentals, okay? This is your accelerant. This is basically what you spray on your super glue to make it insta-bond. Make sure your lid is off. So it's nearby, it's at hand, it's ready, okay? And then we take some super glue. Now, here's what I like to use. This is a CA glue, okay? So you have gap filling, and then you have fast setting, okay? This is medium viscosity, and then you got high, okay? So viscous is thickness. Okay, how viscous is it? So you have, so even what, so you have the slightly more runny version and a basically more goopy, globby version. Either one is absolutely fine. You have a bit more control with the thicker super glue, but this is more fast setting, okay? So you might find that you won't need the accelerant as much, but I still like to use them just to make sure. So all I'm going to do is unscrew my super glue. Of course, there are many brands out there. You can use Gorilla Glue. There's a Bostik super glue. You can use Gorilla Glue. I like this one because it has a very fine tip on the. Okay, there we go. So, what I'm going to do... Ooh. To make a mess? No. So what I'm going to do is make sure your lid is off. So I'm going to measure, roughly. Okay, which is there. Cut that off. And then I need the second... Make sure you, obviously, when you come to do this, you're going to measure for each one. Okay? So that's, but it's not crucial. If you have a piece that's slightly larger, doesn't matter too much. Slightly smaller doesn't matter too much. Okay, so what on earth? Okay, there we go. Boom. I actually thought this had a what do you call it? A neat, like a very fine dispenser, but it's got a very strange way to. So I pick up the plastic card. I'll show again. Sorry. So I use the tip of my scalpel to pick up the plastic card, and I'm just gonna press that against the foot, and the super glue will grab the plastic card. And again. Oh, I think that super glue is already set. What the hell is going on? This really is. Oh, fast setting. Okay, I'm going to show my other technique for. I'm not sure. These are new super glues. I mean, when I say I like using CA glue. Which means cyanoacrylate, by the way, super glue. But this is a new brand that the place I normally get my super glue from has got in, as opposed to the other stuff I normally use. And then if you need to, quick spray, and all you do is just a quick little squirt. Okay, you do this. This has much more. This one sprays out more like WD-40. I personally prefer the ones that come in a like an atomizer, almost like a little like a spritzer. Like a mist, it'll mist it instead. But this is all, again, this is what they had in, so this is what I got. So it works fine, but it just tends to go everywhere. But these are solid. These aren't going to move now at all. I was going to just quickly just double check this. I thought that bit there is the thing, obviously not. It seems to come out of that bit and then thinking that, okay, that's fair enough. So what I'll do is I'm going to show you alternate method of how I also like to apply super glue, depending on the type of super glue nozzle applicator I have. So this one's fairly new to me, so I'm not sure. I might have to follow some instructions and maybe just figure it out a little bit. So what I use is again, is the greaseproof paper. So as you can see there, that little shiny section there, okay? It's just I'm going to put a little dab of super glue on the greaseproof. So the greaseproof won't absorb the super glue. Take yourself... I actually made a little gizmo, but I can't find it. I've lost it. I need to find it again. So take a paper clip. And what you do is you get the... so you have the super glue on here. The paper clip pulls up a small amount of the glue and just dab it on where it needs to be. Okay? Take your base. Now with these models, as long as you generally get them in the center, you're fine. These are quite rank and flank style models. So these have been designed for army units. So they're not as tricky to rank up. When you start using, if you start using other kits, so for instance, Age of Sigmar ones, which I explained before, are slightly more dynamic, you can have issues with ranking up if you don't plan ahead slightly, and I'll show you an example in a minute. Okay, so did I spray that with accelerant? Probably not. I'll do it now. Let me just double check. That was not in camera either, so that's quite funny. Oh no, it hasn't worked. Oh, I'll try again. What on earth is going on? I am failing on all cylinders. But to be fair, I tend to use the thicker. I think I need to get used to this super glue. I used to have Max Bond. Max Bond super glue was great. There we go. That's what. There we go. I was just being I've been a fool. So now he's on the base. He's slightly lifted up. You can see where the plastic card is. And any little, this is a great thing, is any little excess, we can just like basically take on the knife, and just trim it away. Or before you glue it onto the base, just use your clippers to clip it to shape. But I find this is just as easier. Okay. Okay, after that we have a nice raised up model. Consistently raised up model. And it's ready for basing. So that's well, when we come to base it, that's perfect for us. He says, "Why the fuck is that thinking for?" I'm gonna hit on record. Stephanie, again, thanks, buddy. Thank you for the alert, Bal. Oh, yeah. Great thing about doing this is I can just fucking edit it afterwards. The fact. Fucking tosser. Oh dear. Right, where's that super glue? Wow, that is. I'll actually use that thicker stuff, I think. That fucking that stuff is crazy. That's like, if you want to learn, if you want to like glue your hands together in 5 seconds, then be my guest. Like, fucking Jesus. Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you, I do not like this at all. I do not like these I don't like this application at all. I understand it in theory. I think it's to prevent the nozzles from seizing up. Because that's the problem with super glue after a while. The nozzles will seize up. And so you just like end up snipping and making another hole and stuff. So whatever. Oh my god! This is like insane. It just instantly fucking reacts. Even the high vis. Do you know what? I should have tested this glue before I fucking started using it. I'm not gonna lie. But I just assumed it was like, you know, normal CA glue. Jesus Christ. Okay, there we go. This stuff is insane. Insane in the membrane. I have a feeling I might have to just give you guys a little behind the scenes a little behind the scenes some real talk here. I think I might have to actually what do you call it? Buy some the glue what I do like offline. But it's annoying because it's the same place I used to get my the spray paint from, the Autotech. They changed the supply of spray paint to this other brand, and it was just like terrible. Just like, I had a good thing going, you know what I mean? I had a good little thing going. They ruined it for me. So I found some of the actual. I found some of the old stuff. Luckily, it came to the rescue. Okay, there we go. Right, spray. Okay. Just for reference, this is the glue I was on about. This is Max Bond. The label's obviously fucking thingy, but this is the thinner stuff, 601, and I do have some of the thicker stuff as well. Thinking around somewhere, but yeah. But the nozzle seize up. All this seizes up with super glue. So you have to like push a bloody sturdy pin needle through, and yeah. Like here, look, see the nozzle, the lid. So I'm assuming that this technology here, or design, is to prevent this. But the way this stuff like drops out. So that's definitely a super glue that I would need to use greaseproof for, and a pin as opposed to, but it dries so quick as well. That was such an unforgiving super glue, CA glue I should say. Very unforgiving. That was actually in real time me getting a bit flustered there, getting a bit perplexed by that. There you go, look, now that's on, that's sturdy, that's strong. You might have noticed it when I showed it earlier on. So let me just hit record. There we go. And I'll show this now. Not the one before. I noticed in the OBS this foot was like this. That was insane. There you go. That looks better now. Fucking maniac. There's a little bit of B-roll here, guys. A bit of B-roll footage. Just gonna turn it round. This is for the edit, obviously. There we go. Right, okay, let's hit pause, or hit pause in the recording. We'll put him down there for a second. So that's that done. So we're gonna do a head. We're gonna do arms. So we use the normal sprue for now. Well, if I make this guy, does this guy have to be a sword and shield guy or a two-handed weapon guy? I can't remember. Doesn't matter because I'm gonna leave the shield off anyway for ease of painting. So let's do the basic head and weapon arm and go from there. To everyone out there who is listening, thank you very much for being so patient and kind, and yeah. This is the first time I've actually done a something like this on obviously off the stream. But it's obviously going to be, I'm going to perfect it, refine it, and we'll have it down pat by the time we do it again. Obviously, when it comes to the painting side of things, it should be fairly straightforward anyway. So I'm just paint and then just what do you call it? Entertain you guys that way. So let's glue a head on. Let's glue a weapon on. We'll go from there. So let's hit record. Let's talk shit. Okay, so there he is. He's been glued onto the base. He's on a couple of little plasticard risers there. Okay, so now we can choose what head, what weapon, shield, other weapon to give him. Okay, this is our basic guy. So do we give him a shield or do we give him a weapon or whatever? So we can. So let's go back to the sprue that was the other side of that big sprue that I showed. So the other side had the 4 bodies and capes and shields on. This side has weapons, banner pole, heads, okay, and the horn and a skull. Now we don't necessarily need the horn for this guy. So we're going to build a basic guy, a basic trooper. You will notice that some hands are, so these hands here are right-handed and these ones are left-handed, okay? Right-handed, left-handed, right-handed, left-handed. So these are for your dual wielding weapon guys. Now I'm a sucker. I like swords. The swords are my favourite type of weapon. So I'm going to give my guy a sword in his right hand. So all we do is clip out the sword I want. Obviously, if I was building a whole unit of these guys, I would clip out all the right hands, put them into a separate container, tub, section of the tackle box that I showed you in the earlier video, okay? And then I would do all the left hands, and I put them in a separate section, tub, and then I would clean them up one by one, back in the section, clean up the left hands, one by one, back in the section, okay? Now we're going to choose a head. I quite like this head here. So all I'm going to do is clip him off, and that's it. So that's our, and then we can decide whether we need to make him a two-handed weapon guy or a sword and shield guy. So let's talk about cleaning up these components. So what we have here is the nub. This is a ball joint here. This is the nub where the model attaches to the main body. So I'm going to carefully use the knife to take that little nub off, okay? And then here is where the tip of the sword was joined to the sprue. Take your knife and gently pull it across. Just take it off and then smooth it out with that 45 degree, 30, 45 degree or whatever scraping action that we did when doing the body and the legs and then the cape. So we'll go over it quickly, just go over them all entirely and quickly. Take our toothbrush. You see some wispy woos. This will get rid of them. Some hoozy doozies, some thingamabobs, some what do you call it? Just get your brush and take them off. Perfect. Ready. And also just double check for mould lines. This isn't too bad, but you can see slightly there's one down that centre. So it might be worth just taking your going across like that. And another scrape with the toothbrush. And that arm is now ready. Now the head. So again with the head, you tend to find the line runs down the center of the head there. So I take my knife and just carefully try to smooth it out. And then we have the horns and down the side here. So I tend to actually, because it's such a short, there's a bigger area to go from here to here than it is to go from there to there. So I tend to scrape across this way and it still removes that mold line. This ball joint goes inside the neckline, so it's not as crucial to remove that mold line, but you still can if you want to, but it's not as crucial. Turn it over, again scrape that mold line just underneath the horns, and then the bit that's on that ball joint, again not as crucial. Use the toothbrush, go over, and now we're going to sort these horns out, because you're going to notice these horns have a little bit of they're not as smooth. They have a little bit of extra molding that's obviously here you can see it. So break out your rounded file, okay, and gently back and forth. This is perfect for this look. Perfect. Look at that look, perfect. Rounded, round it off. Move the file a little bit. Give it. Oh, nearly lost the thing there. Be careful. But yeah, just that's it. Just that's what I do. On these the extremities of the horn there. Here as well, just nice and gently. Make sure you try and sort of do that kind of motion. You want to try and sort of maintain the integrity of the like the roundness of the horns. So kind of do this. So this obviously, the shape of this obviously allows you to get in here and smooth them out. But make sure you sort of maintain the integrity of those horns. Don't flatten them out. Don't make them a point. Square. Don't square them off, basically. Make sure they still have that roundedness to them. So you kind of move the file in this kind of fashion here. Upside down. Same thing. Okay, gently, gently, gently. Back and forth gently. And then here as well. Gently, gently, gently. And then all we can do is just take the knife and just sort of kind of just any kind of bits that's kind of still kind of being persistent there. Like that. And like that. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Take your toothbrush again. Tight grip in your hand between your thumb and your forefinger. Index fingers, not forefinger side. Well, but make sure it's gripped, and you just use your toothbrush to get all that crap off. And there we have. Oh, you can see a little bit there. Been a little bit careless there, so get that there. Look, get your file in there, and it's gone. It's gone. Not a problem. Like I said before, these cheap little files, these are Blue Spot. Okay? Blue Spot, that's all they are. It's not a big known brand or anything like that, they're just cheap little diamond files. Okay, little model files, these do the job. Mad Eye! Wow, you're too kind with your compliments there. Getting a little bit shy, a little bit bashful there with the old flattery will get you everywhere, my friend. But thank you. Can't wait to see, neither can I, to be fair. I can't wait to see the YouTube video, so I hope they get to no, they will. So I've got some stuff I'm going to film, obviously, for B-roll and that, mate, behind the scenes. No. I don't think Bitty has anything to be jealous of at all. He is absolutely leaps and bounds. I think he's definitely a better streamer than I am. 100%. So. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, you flatter me and then you what you call it? Right, so the head is just absolutely just pinged off there. Yeah, bless you, man. 1 second. Don't go away. I'm just gonna retrieve this head that pinged off. Into oblivion, it would seem. Please don't tell me I spent all that time. Oh, that's incredible. Although, yeah, it's gone. It's pinged. Pinged into oblivion. That's incredible. How does that happen? Well, there you go. Gone but not forgotten. Can we have some, Oh, see you, Steffu, buddy. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I've just, yeah, that head that I just spent all that time bloody prepping is just pinged into oblivion. So, 07's in chat. There you go. Song for the Fallen. That's incredible. And the thing is though, right, I don't really have like, it has nowhere to ping off to. Well, I'll tell you what, let's stop recording because that's just fucking going to be fucking footage that I'm going to just immediately fucking chop out. Just give me 5 seconds just to really, It might, the thing is though, when stuff pings off, it never goes where you think it's pinged off to. I can't be asked. I ain't looking for that. That's pinged off. That's so bizarre. What a bizarre happenstance. The thing is, I saw it in the corner of my eye, like ping off. So you're thinking, oh, it's where my eye saw it land. It just isn't. So that's funny as fuck. Oh well, we'll do another head. Where's the fucking? Actually, I might have. Can't be arsed. Where's the was it that one? No, that's that one. I mean, obviously the joys of having loads of these models is that there we go. I found a straight up replacement head for it because I've got like loads of spares. So I'm just gonna quickly. I'll catch you later, Mad Eye. Sorry, pal. Yeah. You crack on, buddy. You get doing what you're gonna do. I'll sell, buddy. Fucking what you call it. Go read. Oh, read your book, pal. What time are we now? 10:20. I reckon we'll probably call it a day at 10:30 anyway. What a fucking disaster. So. And for those in chat, I'm just going to do the whole thing with a file to speed up the process. The reason why I don't usually, like, I won't recommend like someone to do a whole cleanup process with a file because you can slip and make some mistakes, like take off what you don't need to take off. Okay, back off that. Easy recovery. We're back. We're so back. We're back, baby. Woo! Oh dear, what a clown. So, in theory, we will. Yeah. So there's about 9 minutes left of the stream. So we'll get the head and the arm glued on, and then behind the scenes, I need to just double check. But I think he's a shield guy anyway, so I might just glue the shield on, but I'll just double check at some point if it's a shield guy or if it's supposed to be a double weapon guy. Because just in case you're wondering why, because I've made 3 units of 10. One unit with two hand weapons, 1 unit with shields, 1 unit with double hand weapons. Great weapons, should I say, sorry. 2-handed weapons. So I just wanted to make sure I had 10 guys in each unit. So that's why I'm in a bit more. So I'm going to hit record. We're going to glue on the head and the arm, and then we're going to call it a day. And I'll hit the. Absolute clown, full fucking surface show. We won't be my stream without. That's the whole point of the streams. The streams are meant to be scuffed and you see behind the scenes and the trials and tribulations. And of course the videos will be much more refined. So here we go. Hit record. Let's go. So we've cleaned the head up and we've cleaned the weapon up. So the head, I like to glue the head on first. That way I can have my, because if the weapon's on, I can't put my thumb and fingers here, okay? So I'll make sure they're on. I'm going to put a bit of glue. In the neck hole. Okay? And then we take our helmet, our head. Oh, a second. Edit this out, Daniel, you fucking moron. There we go. In case anyone, there's like a little nub of I hadn't quite cleaned it properly because of the one I spent all that time cleaning up. I pinged off. Right, okay, so take that and then line it up and push into the neck hole, so you have a nice head that's facing forward. Okay. And then while that's also setting up, take your plastic glue, put it in the recess there. That's there for you. This is the location lug, okay, for the arm. And again, just quickly, I'm gonna just off screen just sort that little bit out. There we go. The perfectionist that I am. And then we're gonna push the weapon, the arm into the hole. Make sure the weapon is straight, or at least as straight as it's gonna be. Okay, doesn't take much. That's what looking. And then you see there, it's kind of like doing this. You want to tilt it that way. And keep your finger there and let it set up in place. So again, patience is a virtue. Okay. Plastic glue will take a little bit longer. You can, again, you could put a dab of super glue in there, put it in, and put your weapon choice in, your arm in, and give it a quick spray. The capillary action will let the Insta-Set soak through the gap and into the super glue. But again, what you get is a bond. You don't get a weld. This is going to be a much stronger join than if you used a super glue. And that's because plastic isn't really porous. Obviously, if you use super glue on wood, then wood is, you know, it's porous, so it would actually soak through to the wood. So you try to pull those two bits apart, you'd rip the wood apart. You can use it on stuff that's porous. That's how a PVA glue also works as well. Is obviously it's based on, like, if the material is a porous material. So there we go. I'm going to show it quickly. Head is glue on, the arm is glue on, and then we have to make the decision if it's going to be with a shield or with a weapon. And if it's with a weapon, you can glue the weapon on, and if it's with a shield, I actually like to leave the shield off and paint the shield separately, like here. So the shield has been primed separately, okay? And that is just so I can get to all these details and that here. However, Obviously, when the shield is glued on, you're not going to see them anyway. But it's how I like to paint. But here you'll see that this one has already had the shield glued on. And that's because obviously I want to try and cut down the stress and the faff. So I will show how to paint this guy with shield attached, and I'll show you how to paint a guy with shield not attached, and glue the attach the shield on after the fact. So that, after much wailing and gnashing of teeth, that is pretty much the stream done. Yes, we're going to 10:30. So I am going to do this. I'm going to, like you do, I'm going to pull down the music there, and I would like to say to everyone who has been in chat, everyone who's popped in, everyone who's listening, everyone that's AFK, anyone that's lurking, thank you so much for listening, popping by, saying hello, showing your support again. Second stream in 2026, so we're still shaking the rust off and reacclimatizing. And obviously I've this stream I've obviously I've now implemented the filming of videos. So I wish to thank everyone again. Thank you everyone. I will now switch to closing scene. There we go. We use the old doodah there. So I wish to say thank you. You take care and have a good night. I will see you again next episode. BigDsBrush. You take care. Bye for now. Thanks again, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Time to pack it all away. It's the end of another day. The end of another stream where heroes dare to dream. Raise your brushes to the sky. Close the paint pot, say goodbye. But don't you worry, don't you fear. Our minis wait for when we're here. Armor shot.